As the title of this video says, this week I want to talk about anime. I love anime. I watch a lot of anime. I watch anything anyone recommends to me, anything I can get my hands on, but I recognize that it's not really for everyone, and a lot of people don't particularly like it, or they don't enjoy the style. But today I want to talk about a few that I think everyone will like, even if anime is not usually your thing. I'm going to talk about some flowery, bubbly anime, and I'm also going to talk about some crazy fighting anime, so hopefully there'll be something for everyone on this list. Number 1, Fruits Basket. Fruits Basket is about this family that has this curse where certain members are zodiac animals. When I first explain this to people, sometimes they think it sounds really childish or weird, and it sort of starts out that way. It's very campy and funny. But as it goes on, you really start to care about the characters. There's some amazing development. The plot is really interesting. You're definitely going to start out with a lot of laughs in this show, but you're definitely going to end with a lot of tears. You're going to start loving every single person on the show, and then your heart is going to get wrenched out. So give it a watch. This is one of those shows where unfortunately it gets cancelled too soon, but luckily the manga goes on for 23 books and the storyline is perfection. Number 2, Soul Eater. Action, comedy, drama. This anime has everything. If you don't typically like anime style, this show would probably be really good for you. It has a really interesting... The wind is so loud. It has a really interesting look. It's kind of like Tim Burton's Halloween Town meets Invader Zim, and it's awesome. It has probably some of the most unique characters I've seen in any show. They all have their own talents, they all have their own quirks. I kind of hate some of them, but then I love others. If you've not seen the show, it's about this academy where meisters, or students, go to learn about how to use weapons against demons and steal demon souls. And the weapons are live people that turn into stuff. Like scythes. I want to turn into a scythe. Number 3, Ouran High School Host Club. It is as ridiculous as it sounds, but it's pure perfection, I promise. It's really bubbly and happy and stereotypically girly. But it's not just for girls. But guys, if you're really worried about your delicate sensibilities, you can take solace in telling yourself that it's a satire. It takes your typical girl anime and just overdoes it. It's so self-aware. It knows what it is. It knows what it's doing. They break the fourth wall all the time. I have never laughed so much when watching a show. Ever. The last show I want to talk about is Code Geass. I've never seen an anime that has such an impact. This is easily one of the best shows I've ever seen, let alone anime. It's about this futuristic dystopian monarch. We all know how much I love dystopias. And one of the princes in line for the throne actually wants to overthrow the government and change the world. He doesn't like what the world is becoming. And he's a really interesting protagonist because he kind of reminds me of Light in Death Note, where you don't really know if he's doing good or if he's just being a crazy nut job. Sometimes it's both. But he's ridiculously smart and he really thinks, and you just never know where the show's gonna go. There are so many twists and it's so good, and you're always on the edge of your seat. This show manages to take, I think, about 50 episodes, and it creates this magnificent universe. It's one of the coolest universes I've ever seen or read or anything. They have this awesome protagonist that always kind of like gives you this feeling of unease. You're not sure whether you should trust them. And then the ending is perfection. One of the things I hate about anime is that it's almost always cancelled before it should be, and like the manga goes on, but whatever, who has the time to read all of that? With Code Geass, it ends and it wraps up and it's brilliant. It has one of the best endings I've ever seen in my life ever. Also, did I mention fighting robots? Fighting robots. Check all of these out if you haven't already. They're all amazing, even if you don't like anime. They're brilliant, brilliant shows. Be sure to check out my blog. There's a link in the description down below. And don't forget, subscribe.